Hi, everybody. I hope you're all having a wonderful day so far. Today's presentation is on Microsoft Excel, and we're just going to start off with a brief presentation just to give you some of the main features, and then we're going to move on to a more in-depth tour, just so that you can actually see how it works. So we will begin the presentation now. Firstly, what is Microsoft Excel? Excel is an electronic spreadsheet program that can be used for budgeting, accounting, scheduling, and many other uses, such as producing graphs for data you have and other things. It is accessible on Windows, Mac, Android, and iOS devices, so it is very much compatible with all different types of devices that you may have. In order to use the MS Excel platform, you must purchase an Office 365 subscription. And this costs $69.99 per year for a personal subscription. And this would include Excel, Word, PowerPoint, OneNote, Outlook, and more. Or you can also access a simplified free web version by clicking on that link. We can either put it in the chat for you, or you can click on it when you receive a copy of the presentation with your Microsoft account. So you would log in using the information attached to your Microsoft account to access the free version. And from there, you can access MS Excel a few different ways. Firstly, you can download from the App Store or the Play Store, depending on if you have an iOS device or an Android. You can install the Chrome extension, or you can access it from your preferred browser. If you are thinking about alternatives, Google Sheets is an excellent option as it works much the same way, and it even has the same functionalities for the most part as well. Now, there are some really great aspects of Microsoft Excel. Firstly, it is a simple way to store, access, and share your data. It easily performs calculations and other mathematical types of functionalities. It is easy and effective for comparisons and data analysis. You can create charts and analyze your data through these different types of charts, such as bar charts, pie charts, etc. You can print reports directly from Microsoft Excel, and you can use it on your computer or your phone, and really any type of computer or phone, as mentioned in the previous slide. Now we're going to go over mobile support for using Microsoft Excel. So firstly, you want to open your App Store and search for Excel. The first option should be Microsoft Excel as shown below. In this screenshot, this is what the application looks like. It is a green icon with an X inside of a green box. So make sure you're clicking on the correct version of the app. From there, you click on Install or Get if you are on an Apple device. And then you click on Continue. And from there, you have finished installing the application, and you can open it to enter the application. So in this screenshot, it says open, and by clicking on that, you will be taken directly to Microsoft Excel. Then you will actually see the application, and the menu on the left will offer different templates for different spreadsheets. You will then select the one that you prefer. As you can see, you may want to choose a blank workbook. If you want to take a tour, you can click on that. You can choose the list option. There are so many different options. And then you click the option that says blank workbook to start the new blank spreadsheet, as you see here. And then once you start the blank workbook, this is a screenshot taken from what you'll be seeing on your screen. After creating or opening your spreadsheet, it will look something like this. You will see many different columns and rows, numbered and lettered, and it's all organized right in front of you. At the top of the screen, there will be text that says book, which you can see here in the screenshot. It's a little bit small, but that's where you want to go and tap, and then you can change the name of your spreadsheet. So then you'll type in what you want, and you'll be able to change it to something such as budgeting, draft one, or anything that applies to you. To the right of the title, there will be a button that will give you two important options, and that is Save and Save As. This is the menu that you'll see Save and Save As on. And then if you click on Save As, it will make copies or save the sheet for the first time. Or you can click Save to save all the edits that have been made since the last save. Moving on to computer support. Firstly, installing Excel. The first step is to go to www.office.com. And if you're not already signed into your account, you want to click Sign In. If you sign in with a Microsoft account from the Office homepage, you want to select Install Office. And to complete the installation, follow the prompts that appear on your screen. So this red circle here is prompting you to click on Install Office, which will then start the installation process of Microsoft Excel. You can also add Excel as a Chrome extension rather than actually getting it and installing it. So you want to first open Chrome, then go to the Chrome Web Store, which you can do by typing in Chrome Web Store into your browser. Then you want to search for Excel and click on it. And then an app will appear here, the little icon, and you'll be able to add it to Chrome. And once you finish signing up, your screen should look something like this. If it is your first time using Excel, it is advised to watch the tour to learn about it. So this red circle is indicating where you can find the tour. It's really helpful if you're using it for the first time because there are lots of different tricks and functionalities of the platform. So I definitely recommend just taking a look. And you'll see this screen again during the live demonstration as well. You can choose different kinds of sheets to use from the templates. However, if you have a specific sheet in mind, you can search it up using the search bar in the top right-hand corner. For example, this person is searching accounting, so that's something that they're interested in, and then Microsoft Excel will give you all of their pre-made templates that relate to that topic. You will then choose which template to use, and once you choose one, press Create or double-click on it to open up a new file and start doing whatever work you plan on doing on the sheet. Once opened, you will see a large spreadsheet that looks like this, and there will be lots of different options at the top of the page. Do not get worried. We're going to go through a few of the very important ones, but they're all very helpful to using Microsoft Excel. At the top of the screen, there will be a button that says Book Save to OneDrive. And then if you click on File, it will give you different options, such as the ability to create a new document. You can also open a document you have already made, or you can even save the document that you are currently on. And back to the file aspect, after clicking on the title, a new pop-up will appear and ask for a file name. Click Book and type in what you want to call your document. So this is similar to the process on a mobile phone or tablet. You want to name your file, and then you'll also get to choose where you save it to under location. You can also enable autosave to automatically save your progress as you edit your sheet, which is something that is very much recommended just because sometimes we forget to save it and we don't want to lose all of the progress that we've made. So you can just flip the toggle in this top left-hand corner to make sure it says autosave on. So now we will be moving into the live demo portion. So when you first get into Microsoft Excel, this is what it's going to look like. And to create a new one, you can just click on blank workbook, or you can look into the different templates they have and even go to the search bar to search for one, or to more templates if you want to explore more options. But for this presentation, we're just going to go through a blank workbook just to keep it simple. So we're going to go through navigating the Microsoft Excel on this blank workbook. So as you can see, this spreadsheet has many different cells. There are so many, you can keep scrolling down to the side. It's kind of endless. It's a bit overwhelming, but you can just know that if you start from the top, it's pretty easy to keep track of where you're at. And you can navigate using your mouse. So if you just click around, you can go into these different cells, or you can click on one and then drag any direction to select multiple of them. So I'm clicking down on my keypad here and I'm just dragging it around to select multiple. You can also navigate using your keyboard. So if I want to move to the right, I would click the right arrow, or down, you can click the down arrow on your keyboard, or you can go to the left or up. And you can even hold the shift button on your keyboard to select multiple. So I'm clicking on shift as well as the right arrow, and it is now selecting multiple cells. Similarly, you can use enter to move down. So if I click on the enter key on my keyboard, it will move down. And I can even click on shift as well as enter to move back up. If you want to move to the right, you can click on tab. I'm clicking the tab button on my keyboard, or shift and tab to move to the left. So you can navigate using your mouse or the keyboard. If you want to select a row or column, you want to click on Control space. As you can see, I've selected the entire A column, and that's for an Apple computer, Control space. Or you can click on Shift space to select an entire row. So you can see that row 10 has now been selected as well. Now moving on to some aspects of formatting. In order to edit column or row sizes, you can go to the top and you'll see in between each column and row, there's a gray border. And then clicking and dragging on this line will allow you to edit the size of the column or row. So you see this kind of cursor has changed. It's a long line with arrows going to the right and to the left. And if I hold down and drag, I can make the A column much wider. And then you can see it's a lot larger. You can do the exact same thing with the row. I can make row 1 a lot larger by just clicking and dragging it downwards. So now we have a larger space to work with. You can even merge cells into one larger cell. So if you want to join, say, these cells all together, you can do so. And if you want to combine them, you can use the Merge and Center tool, which you can find in the bottom right corner of the alignment section on the Home tab. So you can see this Merge and Center button right here. And that will just join them all together into one massive cell. So we've joined A1, B1, C1, as well as D1. And again, that button is just located right in the middle of the top menu bar. Now we will move on to discussing entering data, because that's what we're using Microsoft Excel for. So in order to enter the data, you just want to click on a cell and then type in whatever information you're writing. For example, 1, 2, 3. And when I'm done, I'm going to hit enter. And it's going to go into that cell that I've typed it into. If you want to enter the same data into multiple cells, you want to drag to select multiple cells and then type in data. So since I already typed in data, it's gone to all of those. But if we had an empty cell and we dragged it down, you want to hit Control Enter, you type in the data, and then you hit Control Enter on your keyboard, and it will appear in all of the cells. From there, you can also extend a pattern in the worksheet. So you can select cells in a pattern and click and drag the box in the lower right corner of the selected cells to automatically continue it. So that's another way to extend your cells. And then you can also copy data into other cells. So to do so, you want to go to the cell and click on Command C if you're on a Mac computer. It may be Control C if you're on a different type of computer. And once I click on Command C, I will go to another cell and click Command V on my keyboard, and then it will also appear in that other cell. There's also the option to do simple math using Microsoft Excel. And to do so, you want to just type in an equal sign. And then from there, you will just put in the equation that you want. So for example, if we wanted to find the product of 4 times 5, we would put in 4 and then the star to represent times 5. And then you click on enter once you've put in your mathematical problem or equation, and we will get the answer, which is 20. So it can also act as a very helpful calculator. Another thing that you can do is adding cell values together. If you want to add selected cells values and have the total in another cell, you can use the AutoSum tool, which is located in the top left corner of the function library section on the formulas tab. So you can see here, you can go to the top corner and you can see the ability to find the sum, average, counting numbers, maximum, minimum, etc. You can also do addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division manually by entering equal and then selecting a cell and then adding an equation, for example, addition, and then selecting another cell. So if we wanted to do the sum of C2, which is one of the cells, so each cell has a number and a letter that is the same or is kind of the name of the cell. So this cell would be C2 here. Since there's nothing in it, we probably don't want to use that one. But if we use B2, we can find the sum of B2. And then we can also put in another cell, which would be maybe A5. And then you would click enter and it would find that sum for you. So you can do math by putting in the numbers raw, such as 4 times 5, or you can even put in cell numbers or locations to do manipulations with numbers that are already within cells that exist. You can also organize your cells numerically or alphabetically, and you can do this by highlighting the cells that you're interested in sorting, and then you will click the Arrange Data button. So you can do this by going up to, I believe, the A and the Z button, and you click on Sort Smallest to Largest or Largest to Smallest. So if we want it to go smallest to largest, then you'll just allow it to sort, and then it will sort your data for you. There's also the opportunity to add a chart, and you can do this by selecting all the cells with the data that you want represented in your graph. You may want to include labels to your chart in order to explain what each section of the chart represents, and you can do so by adding text to the right of each row of data and then above each column of data as well. So it will be included in the graph. So you want to select all of the data. For example, if I wanted a graph including this information, and then you can click on Alt and the F1 key on the keyboard to make it into any chart. I'm not able to do this function because I have a different computer and I don't have an F1 button, but you will be able to do so on your computer if you have an F1 button. You can also change the type of chart, and it will make the data go into a basic bar graph automatically when you create a chart. But if you would prefer a different type of graph, for example, if you wanted to change the chart type, then you will be able to have, say, a pie graph rather than a bar graph or a scatter plot. So whatever works best for the data that you have. So you can just click on change chart type and then choose the type you like from all of the options Microsoft Excel offers. You can also change the chart style. If you want to change this, then you will be able to use the selected chart and change its style by clicking the button on the bottom right of the chart style section, and then pick any of the graph styles presented there. An example of a chart style that you may want to change is, for example, the colors of lines or data points, if it's hard to distinguish between them. So you can make adjustments to color or the locations of the axes and labels, or if you want a legend for your chart. These are all style choices that you can make to present your data in the best way possible and make it very clear what you're depicting. Moving on to another concept, you can have multiple sheets in Microsoft Excel. So far, we've been working on one sheet here. If you look to the bottom left-hand corner, it's called Sheet 1. But we can actually create more inside of this one book. So we can do so by clicking on the plus button here, and this will add a new sheet. So now we're on sheet number 2. You can easily move between the sheets by just clicking on the tabs here in the bottom. So if you have maybe some numbers on sheet 1 and you want to make some sort of a list on sheet 2, that would be a great way to just keep things organized in one Microsoft Excel file. So I just showed you how to click and create a new sheet so we can create as many as we would like, but we can also delete a sheet by right-clicking on the sheet. So I'm right-clicking on my keyboard, and then you can go to delete if you want to delete it. So I'd click delete, and it would no longer be there. You can also rename a sheet by, again, right-clicking, and then you click on rename, which is third to the top. And maybe we want to call it budget 2022. And then we could use this sheet for that purpose. And you can even move them around by dragging them to change the order in which they appear. And finally, one last important thing is that you can rename the book itself or the file that you're working on, which is not letting me click on it right now. And then you should also turn on autosave. Here now we can change the name. So budgets, if that's what I want to call it, and then it's going to save to my OneDrive, and I can click on save. And then autosave will be turned on, and whenever I make changes, it will now automatically sync it, which is very important just in case I ever forget to save. And then another feature is macros. And by adding macros, you can save frequently used actions in Excel, and you can save them to be used anywhere in Excel, which saves you the time and effort of typing the same thing over and over again. So that's another thing that you can think about adding to your usage of Microsoft Excel.